So let's talk about near-death experiences, and specifically Christian near-death experiences. You know, when people cross over, they all see different experiences. Christian people will see a very Christian experience as they cross. Hindus see something entirely different. How do I know this? Because you can find the differences online. Do a YouTube search on near-death experiences. You'll find different experiences from different people. One young lady, when she crossed over, she was born Christian, raised in a Hindu country. She crossed over twice. The first time she saw Jesus, the second time she saw Shiva. You know, and it was all a matter of what their belief was at the time. You see, we live in an illusion. We live in an illusion here in this world. You know, the image of God is surrounding us as we speak. You know, science has proven that everything we see and experience in this life is pure energy. You know, when you look at the room that you're in, everything that you're looking at is made of atoms, atomic energy. And when you put your hand up and you look at your hand, you realize that your hand is also made of that same atomic energy. And your eyes that you're looking at this with are made of that atomic energy. And the air between your eyes and your hand are made of that atomic energy. We are literally in the image of God. God is everything. God is the source that we reside within. What are we? We are our conscious beliefs. We are our consciousness. Now, beliefs, in many ways, are chosen. You know, they are not necessarily universal 100%. Now, there are universal truths that can be found in many different spiritual beliefs. But as far as the doctrines and the dogmas, they are not universal, because if they were universal, then we wouldn't have Christianity and Judaism and Islam and Buddhism and Hinduism and Jainism and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so those different dogmatic beliefs and structures that we've placed around universal truths give us a core belief. Now, as I have said on many occasions, using the Bible quote, whatever you ask in God's name is granted if you have faith. You know, whatever you're asking for, whatever you're believing, comes to your experience. And think about that. If you have faith, means you're believing it, right? If you have faith, means you're believing it. In Christianity, they would say faith means faith in Jesus. Well, from my personal perspective, Jesus never wanted to be deified, and Jesus told us what we were here to be, and it showed us our potential and our own personal divinity. Greater works than I have done, you will do, is what he said. So when I look at that perspective, now when I talk to people or I watch videos on YouTube who are Christian who've crossed over, they've met Jesus. They've had a very big spiritual experience, and they've had a very big spiritual experience framed by their current beliefs. You know, my mother, when she, many of you have heard me talk about my mother, had her master's degree in liturgy. She's head of liturgical doctrine at our church. And one day I asked her, Mom, why did you become so Catholic? And her response was, because I had an out-of-body experience during a Mass. Well, during a Mass was a spiritual experience for her, which she equated, because she was in a Mass, she equated it with Christianity, with Catholicism. And that's why she became so Catholic. Later on in her life, as she grew older, you know, she began to let some of the limiting beliefs of Catholicism fall away, because she could then look at spirituality as something bigger than any one religion. But people who cross over who are Christian, you know, because they go from this place of physical reality to the place of oneness with God, oneness with Source, heaven as it were, they have to transition from this physical reality to that etheric reality. And to go from this physical to that etheric, you have to have a transitional time. And the way that transition works is by your faith. If you believe you're going to see Jesus in heaven and all those things, when you die, you will see Jesus in heaven, all those things, and then it will transition you to something different. How do I know this? Well, I've crossed over twice. First was during my past life regression, when Jesus touched me on the heart. Jeshua ben Joseph touched me on the heart, and I left my body. And I went to the other side, and I experienced unconditional love without fear, without anxiety, without judgment. I experienced what a heaven would be, but it was not because of my deification of Jesus. It was because he was showing me the universal truth of our oneness with all, our divinity with all. And that oneness with all, that divinity with all, is what he was here to teach, what he was here to show us, that we all had the potential. Take heart, I have overcome the world, is what he said. Well, you don't tell someone to take heart unless they can do it as well. And that's what he was saying. So when we cross over with our current belief. And then what happens is it transitions. And in those past life regressions that you see and near-death experiences that you see on YouTube, most of them will tell you that over a course of time, that all those things fall away and they just come to this place of completely undescribable, unconditional love and bliss. They come to a place that the dogmas and the structures, the ceremonies, even the belief systems don't matter. God does not care if you're Muslim or Christian or Buddhist or Hindu. God does not care. God is one. God is everything. God is love. In my Father's house, there are many mansions. Each of those mansions are different schools of thought, different belief. And God is love. And if when you're going across and you equate that love with Jesus and your rituals, you will experience those things. That's what happens when you cross over. You experience your belief first, and then the truth is revealed. And what's interesting is when the truth is revealed to be far simpler, far more one with love. And, I have traveled all over the world. I've been to more Muslim countries than most people do ever know. I have found loving, caring people in every country. I've been to India, loving, caring people in India. Been to Africa, loving, caring people in Africa. All through the stands, as we call them, Uzbekistan, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Kyrgyzstan. Been all through there. Found loving, caring people everywhere I went. Right, Iceland, England, Norway, Germany, Belgium, Holland. Did all that. Loving people everywhere. The Caribbean, loving people. Peru, South America, loving people. Everybody's the same. Everybody wants to love. Everyone wants to be an expression of love. And by accepting that, even though you may not believe as I do, you are still a representation of love. And by crossing over and realizing that you're going back to this loving source, no matter what, no matter how you cross over, whatever visual you put around it, it's okay, because God is love and God accepts you no matter what faith you come from. There is no one faith. There is no one religion that can encompass all of the truth, all of God, because God is too big for one religion to hold on to. And what religion is various groups trying to make sense of God and creating structures and dogmas and rituals around it. And when we die and we cross over, we experience our belief. And if we choose to believe in a Christian belief, we see that. A Muslim belief, we see that. A Hindu belief, we see that. The Buddhist belief, we see that. The Christian near-death experience is just as valid as the Muslim near-death experience and the atheist near-death experience. The interesting thing about atheists especially, they cross over, they experience oneness and bliss and love as well. Many of them come back and suddenly have a whole new faith in God because they just are shocked by it. When you look at the religious texts, you see all this various aspect. Now you look at scientific texts, and even Einstein believed in a God. He believed in, quote unquote, the God of Spinoza, a one consciousness that gave order to the universe. He believed that when you looked at the atomic level, it was too structured for it not to be a conscious decision or conscious creation. And so God is showing himself in all aspects, and sometimes the dogma is science, and sometimes the dogma is Christianity, Muslim, Hindu, so on and so forth. But to be here in our physical place is to experience our belief. And to transition from this space to that space, we will experience our belief and transition out of it back to that space, because you can't go from one to the other instantly, and unless you have very little dogmatic belief. But what they do is they show what you're shown is your belief getting stripped away as you cross over. And when you get to the other side, you experience the oneness and find no need for the dogma, for the ritual, for the ceremony. Because there is no need. There is no need. You know, I like I said, I have crossed over twice. One was in the past life regression. The other one was when I was doing out-of-body astral travel work. And that sounds so esoteric and so woo-woo. But it really was the first time I went out of body was a total accident. I was trying to warm my body up in a cold tent, and I went out of body. And then I was like, okay, I learned how to do that in that moment. The next time I went out, I did some more work, and then I got really good at it. And then one time I tried to go out, and I found myself in the pure white expanse, you know, with bliss, and I felt like a child, like I knew nothing. It was so fun. And there before me was a man. He just smiled at me and says, "You're not supposed to be here yet." Right? So for me, it wasn't bathed in a Christian perspective. It was bathed in a loving, fun perspective, because that's the way I live my life. I live my life loving and fun. I enjoy my life. I have fun with my life, and I love through my life. And that's the key. When you come to the true source of God, God is love. It says it right in the Bible. God is love. If you live in the true source of love, when you cross over, you won't go through this process because your belief will have already changed. But if you live in the dogmatic world of Christianity or any other religion, you will experience those beliefs as you cross over. And when you get to the other side, those beliefs will be stripped away, and you will experience oneness with God without a need for a dogma, ritual, or Messiah deity, or prophet. There's no need for them, because you are one with Source. You are divine, and your crossing over will be of your own making through your own belief. So you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you go down below it right now and join in the comments section. Add a comment. Comment on someone else's. Let's get this community talking about these topics, and let's get this information out there. Also, if you really like this, or you really resonate with some of the things that I'm saying on this channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and share, because this information is not about us holding it to ourselves. It's about spreading it out so we can change the perspective of the world, so people can find their own truths, so we can create a more loving world. So don't forget, like, subscribe, share, and comment. Let's get this community really growing. And that'd be great. And thank you for watching, and thank you for all your support of me. It has been absolutely wonderful. Thank you.